Thank you for showing up, first of all. I would like to talk about enhancing user research with AI today. But before I dig into this weedy subject, let me introduce myself. I am Sasha Luca. I'm a user researcher who believes that building a product shouldn't mean driving in the dark without headlights. And I've spent the last 7 years running deep product discovery for teams like Mezzo, Threshold, and Consensus. And that's because I prefer to actually talk to users much rather than guessing what they think. And my ultimate villain origin story is, let's just test it in production. So, first of all, I would like us to set the ground rules for today. The talk is not about how AI is going to replace human empathy or take our jobs. It is not a list of 50 random prompt hacks. This talk is trying to help you answer questions like, where should I use AI in my workflow? What AI tools should I use? When is it safe or low risk to use AI to automate a task? Where does human judgment matter the most, and where AI cannot work at all for me as a researcher? So this talk will hopefully help us in the data janitor and data scrubbing in era of the UX research. So, first of all, I think we need to reset our mindsets. We have to stop looking at AI as the thief trying to steal our job and start looking at it as a Swiss Army knife we have in our toolboxes. A master chef doesn't get replaced by a food processor. They just stop wasting time chopping onions so they can focus on the flavor. So AI prepares the ingredients, but we cook. So I think we should talk about this much rather uncomfortable topic. There is a user research value crisis right now. And we are currently trapped by a manual labor tax that turns researchers into data janitors. And unfortunately, this is creating the bottleneck perception where stakeholders view user research as slow, expensive, luxurious thing much rather than a strategic advantage. So, unfortunately, this has led to a genuine profession crisis, especially in high-velocity worlds like Web3, where the pressure is to ship now. So, unfortunately, it makes our traditional rigor more of a liability instead of an asset. And before I will show you this framework, I would like to have a quick show of hands of how many of you have used ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or any other LLM model in this week or last week's work. Sweet. Keep your hands up. Because I want to ask you, out of all of you who have raised your hands, how many of you fully trusted the output that the model gave you, and how many of you thought about the risk behind what it gave you? It's the same. How many of you have fact-checked the output? Wow, you guys are you have just destroyed my entire thesis. No, you're very good. I was expecting this as at an Ethereum conference. So, even more, I think you will love even more this framework because it will add extra details. So, this framework will help you evaluate how to use AI in your day-to-day processes as a researcher, or maybe as a designer as well, it works. We have here a 2x2 matrix where we're going to evaluate risk on the y-axis and we will always ask ourselves this question: what is the cost of a mistake? And then on the x-axis, this is the complexity one. We're going to ask, how hard is the pattern recognition? So this diagram is going to help us map which tasks can be fully automated by AI, which ones need a human check, which ones can be done by human only, for now, for now. And it's important to always keep in mind when we look at the risk axis to ask ourselves, if the AI hallucinates, how big is it the impact on the study? So by mapping our tasks, here we are going to empower ourselves to know exactly where to let AI run freely and when to keep it strictly human. So I'm going to start with the first quadrant, which is the bottom left part. And this is like low complexity, safe to automate. These are the low stake type of menial and repetitive tasks that actually and unfortunately eat a lot of the researcher's time. This is where AI can run without supervision. So you can let it do interview transcripts, auto-schedule study participants, scrub PII, post-interview follow-up emails, raw survey translations, formatting raw data. That's no problem. You don't have to keep it on a leash. The second one is AI assists, human refines. And this is the bottom right quadrant. And this is the realm of collaboration. So think about it like this. The AI helps me start fast, but I provide the meaning and the context. Here, the AI just helps me navigate the messy first draft, the writer's block, the researcher's block. So we can let it do like real-time tagging and clustering. Dovetail is a really good product for that. Cross-study referencing, continuous support ticket monitoring, but also we can use it like for things like problem framing and how might we questions, for example. So the AI acts like my junior. This is how I like to call it, my junior. And it does the first pass, proposes themes, but I bring the business context and the product needs. So the AI proposes, but I decide what to validate and what to discard. So we're bringing the critical thinking here. And on the third quadrant, which is the upper left corner, this is where the AI drafts and the human verifies. This is where the things get with high stakes. This is the high risk quadrant. So in this quad, we should always keep asking ourselves, how big will be the impact if the AI makes a mistake? And this is why it's important to remember that AI is the engine, but we are the guardrails. We are the safety check. And we should be always mindful that AI is extremely prone to writing leading questions, and it's extremely biased. And unfortunately, AI is a people pleaser. And it will never, ever tell you that you're wrong. It has been trained mostly on junk surveys. And just like they say it out there, garbage in, garbage out. And also, it's big time affected by the happy path bias. So it's extremely important to have the critical thinking and look at what it provides us. And then, even though it gives us the speed, we will be the ones who are the guardians. We are the safety net. So it's very good for drafting screeners and discussion guides, but you cannot just blurt them out afterwards. It's important for you to look through them, even for surveys, even for thematic mapping or raw notes. It's extremely important to look over what you got and not just send it without any checking. And then the last quadrant, this is a human only, for now. Again, I'm always saying for now because times are changing, but for now, this is the part where it's human only. And these are the trust-sensitive, strategic tasks that need the human, and the AI cannot comprehend. So AI cannot navigate stakeholder politics, of course, or it cannot interpret conflicting data, or onboard stakeholders, or present live findings and facilitate Q&A with leadership. And yes, like, there may be out there new products like Outset AI or Hagen, who are letting us run a standard survey or generate video briefs. But still, you cannot just let the AI do this type of things. And it cannot do the facilitation of executive alignment. It will be very hard for AI to understand emotion or nuance during an interview and inside of looking at the notes. It will be very hard for AI to evaluate ethical implications, and definitely it won't be able to decide killing a feature based on mixed data. So, even though AI can do a lot of things, AI cannot read the room with the C-suite, and they will never understand why an exec will push back on a finding. So, we learned about the framework. We learned about how can we manage the tasks and see where is high complexity, which ones are low risk, how to determine what to delegate and automate to AI, and where we need to always supervise and keep an eye out there. But how do we improve this process? So, unfortunately, even if we like it or not, we are lifelong learners. We will need to do that. Even if we're developers, researchers, designers, we need to always learn, always be relevant. And empowerment isn't a one-time setup, it's a cycle. So you don't just install the AI and then you go take a nap. You will have to guide it. And in order to future-proof your career, you need to become an AI experimenter. And when a new tool drops, run it through this loop. Explore it, test it, and then evaluate it with these 4 questions. At least these ones work for me. I'm very happy to learn from you if you have any others. But for me, it's super important to learn, does this actually save me time? Does it reduce friction? Does it improve quality? And what still needs the human judgment? And if a tool passes and goes with flying colors after I'm asking all of this, then I will adopt it and embed it in my workflow. If it fails, I will leave it behind and tab it, but most of the time I will circle back, because I did this with Otter AI the first time I used it. Unfortunately, it was quite bad, like really bad for transcripts, especially in Web3. It didn't understand Ethereum, Bitcoin. This is so bad I had to manually all of the time change the notions. And now it's working brilliantly. And then also with Dovetail, it was just adding extra manual labor. Dovetail is a user research repository, if you guys don't know, and it's supposed to be lifting a lot of the work from the researchers' shoulders. But unfortunately, it was just adding extra labor. So at the time, I just ditched it, but now it has introduced an AI agent that does really good labeling and a lot of other things. And finally, if you're looking at this and thinking, we need this, but we don't have the time to build it, well, this is my shameless plug. That's exactly what I do. So I'm currently taking on new clients, and I'm open to full-time roles. So scan this QR, Let's connect and let's get your team out of the bottleneck. Thank you.
Thank you for the speech. Does anyone have any questions?
Well, thanks for the presentation.
Sure.
Have you considered that process which you describe here, or let's say the segmentation?
Yeah.
How that would look like when actually AI is the member of the C-suite?
Oh, that's interesting. And I know that there are right now, I think it's called Paperclip. It's a project that has AI agents that just mirror a company. So they can be the C-suite, they can be the product managers, they can be the designers, and they talk to each other. I did not consider that though. I think it will be interesting. It depends who trained it and what data. So I think that person who owns the model and fed the data into the AI will have a lot of power if the AI becomes part of the C-suite. But very good question. This is food for thought.
Any other questions? No? Okay, one more.
Thank you. I have a question little bit more specific on security, but how many times you meet with data poisoning while learning with LLM or working with RAG, as you mentioned, because this issue, data poisoning is very complex now, and I face it many times working with people. I'm curious how you work with it in your researching.
With data poisoning?
Yep.
Okay, so first of all, I am feeding all my data harvested by me to different LLMs, or they're just like harvested directly. I use the API key and feed it into Claude. I'm not sure if the data poisoning can appear here, because it's the data that I'm feeding it. So I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but in my opinion, I don't think it gets poisoned, hopefully.
Yeah, okay, I understand. Because I think if you use open,
maybe I
models,
can use open source models, and
yeah, like
then definitely,
yep.
I do not have a lot in this talk about how can you add privacy to AI, but if you're interested in that, I recommend you to watch another talk from Daniel Luca, who is taking everything point by point and how to help you do that. But if you're like very privacy driven, I recommend you to use open source models and run them locally. And I think if you do this, you are basically digging a moat around your data. So yeah, that's an extremely good question. And I think it would be lovely to see something that does this fully decentralized and is just like competing against everything that is centralized. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Because I was thinking if you use models you can like run like ChatGPT, Cloud, Gemini, they have proved prompt injection methods, right? And data poisoning. So I was curious if you use them, like the IP, how you handle this data poisoning if your data set are poisoned from beginning of learning, and how it's affect your research. But if you use local models with your RAG, your data you found yourself, it's much easier and safer for you.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Sure.
Any other questions? No? Okay, in that case, can we get another round of applause for Sasha?
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.